Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie, and this week on Game of Thrones, so many sad things happened. This face was my face after it was all said and done. They probably wanted to skip last week just to give us a break from all the WTF moments. Before we try to mentally unpack everything, quick shout out for the giveaway, just as a way to say thank you to all you guys for being awesome. I'm giving away an Amazon gift card. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment below on this video. I'm also willing to send out some digital hugs too, given everything that happened. So let's do top 5 moments first, then I'll do my review, and then I'll circle back around for any big plot points that we need to remember. But careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet. But here we go. Number 5, Missandei and Grey Worm shipping. This may have been one of the only happy moments from the episode. The reason it really ends up being depressing, though, is they'll never be able to fully consummate their relationship. I'd argue that shouldn't stop them from pursuing a companionship that goes beyond simple friendship. It's just going to make things very, very difficult. Based on the way that they left things, it seems like Missandei is really willing to pursue something. It's Grey Worm that's reluctant, but given enough time, I think that he'll come around. The thing that really struck me about them is that of all the relationships we saw in the episode, theirs was the only one that you feel good about. Like Roose and Ramsay, Littlefinger and Sansa, they all just creep me out. Number 4, Sansa learns to lie. Did you see how she dyed her hair black in that last scene and they were just giving each other creepy looks? Big flashing warning lights going on everywhere. The whole veil story this week seems like it was more about Sansa shedding the rest of her innocence, or at least most of it, like she's slowly suffocating the sweet summer child inside of her. As pervy as Littlefinger seems with those long gazes, his interest in her isn't just sexual. It's more like he's taking pleasure in watching her learn to play the game. I'm really interested to see where they take our character from here. It seems like Sansa on the show has caught up to book Sansa in terms of plot. Like when we get to season 5, the show will be ahead of the books, at least for Sansa's character. Number 3, Ser Jorah is exiled. Poor Ser Jorah, he brought it on himself. That external shot of the city when he was riding out of town was so sad. It looked like it was lifted straight out of a really depressing Western movie. And it almost made things worse that Daenerys didn't shout at him. Like the moment was so upsetting that she was just screaming internally, just like all of us were screaming internally during the entire episode. What I was confused by was the royal pardon. He clearly got a copy of it way back in season 1, so was this a new copy? The seal of the hand of the king was on it, so I'm assuming that what Jorah said was correct. Tywin Lannister was trying to divide Daenerys' inner circle to keep them busy. I really hope that this isn't the last we've seen of Ser Jorah this season, but I think he's going to be on Daenerys' shit list for a long time, so if we do see him, he'll be on his own. And number 2, Ramsay Snow becomes Ramsay Bolton. This was one of the most twisted victory moments I've seen this season. Like when something really awful gets celebrated like dwarf jousting, or when a big villain wins a victory like the Red Wedding. The show even changes the music to this really uncomfortable tune so that internally you kind of know not to cheer. Real quick though, no judging here on this channel. Did you cheer whenever Roose made Ramsay a Bolton? My brain actually melted just a little bit when that happened. If there was any doubt that something terrible just happened, there was that line from Ramsay telling Reek he'd be giving him a bath later. Yuck. That's actually like the best word to describe that whole part of the story. The flayed man was actually just a visual representation of that. In fact, if any of your friends ever asked you to explain Ramsay, just show them a screen cap of this flayed man. That will tell them everything they need to know. I actually had a hard time telling just because the video I was watching was kind of low res, but that keep off in the distance, I thought it was Moat Cailin that they were marching to, but because Roose had just gotten done talking about this big North speech, I kind of thought it might be Winterfell, because when you think of the North, you think of Winterfell. And my number 1 WTF moment, no surprises here, Oberyn Martell versus the Mountain. So many things to unpack here. Let's just start with the fight itself. Pedro Pascal looked like he was doing all the stunts. What they did with the fight choreography was so much better than what I had imagined. And even though Oberyn did get his skull crushed in, he did beat the Mountain. He did get a measure of revenge. He just waited too long to finish him off. That wicked looking pike of his was so awesome too. Here's an up close shot of what that spear tip looked like. He rammed that through the Mountain's chest, severed his hamstring, and landed a few other really deep slice cuts. I actually did a video earlier today kind of explaining the Mountain's armor. He's basically like a walking fortress. He has like 3 different layers of armor, so the only way to land a blow is in one of the gaps in the plates. On that subject too, even if Oberyn had been wearing a helmet, the Mountain still would have been able to crush his head through it, so don't feel like ignoring Tyrion had anything to do with him dying. I totally should not have been surprised when they showed that wide shot of his smashed body. Of all the things that the show has done this season, I still think that Joffrey's, up-close purple face is worse. At the end of the season, I'll have to do a breakdown of all the most vomit-inducing scenes, like a montage of epic WTF. For all the people that have read the books, try to be careful with spoilers in the comments about what happens after the fight, just because the Mountain, as far as we know, is just collapsed right there lying. We don't really know what his final fate is. He's kind of floating around in the ether right now. This is going to be remembered as one of the best fight scenes the show has ever done. I think the show is going to have a really hard time topping it, either this season or next season or at some point in the future. But now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite moment, and try to describe the face you made whenever the Mountain squished Oberyn's head. Overall, I felt like this was a B+ episode with an A+ fight attached at the end. Usually the different scenes all over the world connect on a really deep level, but this week felt a little disconnected. In the show's defense, that might have been the point though. I think the secret to decoding the episode is in decoding Orson Lannister smashing his beetles. I tried to pay special attention to Tyrion's speech. It was really, really long. Duration is actually a really good indicator of how important the showrunners think something is. Thus, listening to Tyrion decode Orson was probably one of the most important things in the episode. I think they were just trying to convey the idea of futility, like no one understands why they're killing all these people, either in the War of the Five Kings or just on a general level. The speech didn't really end with any kind of resolution. They didn't answer the question about what it all means, so I think we're headed for just a lot more senseless killing before the end of the season. But let me know, what do you think that speech about the Beatles means and what it represents for the future? Really, the only hanging threads at the end of the episode are Tyrion and Arya. Tywin sentenced Tyrion to death, so we need to think about what's going to happen to him in the final 2 hours of the season. Please, book readers, if you're going to post spoilers, be sure to use spoiler tags and just hit enter 4 or 5 times before leaving a comment. As for Arya, it didn't make it into my top 5 moments, but her reaction to learning that her Aunt Lysa died was amazing. I think she was just laughing because it was one of the most awful things that could have happened. It's like Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and she's just laughing at the universe. I actually liked Arya's reaction to her situation more than Tyrion's to his. I guess you could kind of say that he's subject to Murphy's Law too. Right now, the things I'm looking forward to most on the show are the wildling attack on the Night's Watch, Arya and the Hound, there's really only a couple more places for them to go after the Vale, and finding out what the Martells are going to do once they learn Oberyn is dead. So like usual, my Q&A will post tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe to get it. I'll try to post it a little bit earlier than normal. You can actually click right here to get it. I'll add the annotation as soon as I post it. And you can click here to learn about my top 10 fighters on Game of Thrones. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. High fives.